All right. Hello, my name is Israel Lewis. Today, I'm going to be interviewing a dear friend, great neighbor, wonderful mother, all that. Her name is Miss Maggie. She works in STEM, and I'm just going to be asking her a few questions about her journey and where she is today. All right, let's get into it. All right. Thank you so much again, for your time and just your patience with all of this. And so just to start us off, just tell me about what STEM field you work in, tell me a little bit about what you do and things of that nature.
Yes, sir. So I work in technology.
Mm-hmm.
I work in the healthcare environment.
Yeah.
I work in a technical help desk for Atrium Health.
Oh, wow.
So, Atrium is one of the largest healthcare providers in the Carolinas,
Mm-hmm.
one of the largest in the nation. I think we're like third behind the VA in terms of size. So we have a really large customer base, about 100,000 teammates. So anytime any of those teammates has a technical need or issue or question, they call my team for help and support over the phone. So I manage that team of about 40 people for technical support.
Amazing. Wow. All right, so I know that's some things that I can imagine. There's some things that I don't even know about there. I can only imagine how many situations y'all go through on a day-to-day basis.
Yes.
But just tell me a little bit about like what you were like in high school, and kind of like a little bit, just a brief journey, from high school to where you are.
So in high school, I was not a disciplined student. I was kind of a free bird. I was raised by a single mom, so she didn't really have the reins on too tight for us. So I was kind of, navigating on my own. I really didn't put focus and emphasis on my studies. I mean, I got through, but it wasn't like I was on any list of, you're such a great academic performer or, any clubs. I didn't participate in anything. That's one of my regrets. I wasn't in any sports, no extracurricular stuff. I was just having fun, basically, Israel. I was like with my friends, and I loved my high school experience. At the time, I had a great time socially. And then, I knew I had to go to college, so I picked a college. I picked a college that was actually known for partying. All the people that I started out with eventually got kicked out or dropped out, so I was kind of there on my own. And through that time, I got my act together. I actually got baptized. I, dedicated my life to the Lord. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm here at this party school around all these people that I really don't vibe with anymore. But anyway, when I was searching for what I wanted to do, I went through several different majors, probably switched, 3 or 4 times, from social work to criminal justice, physical therapy. I was kind of all over the map, but ultimately I landed on IT because I had a mentor who was in the social work. That's really what I wanted to do, work with kids. That's my passion, I would say. But they kind of gave me like a day in the life rundown, and because it seemed so emotional, I was like, I can't do that for my job. Like, I'll come home crying. So I wanted to specifically target something where I could go to work and come home and not bring it home with me. And I wanted it to be like very black and white. And I was like, and I wanted to get a job.
Work-life balance.
So
I like it.
I graduated in 2000, and 2000 was like a big bang for technology. And it was, just a hot topic, I'll say. And I knew I could get a job. That's why I picked IT.
Wow, okay, cool. Yeah, that's so real. That's such a real thing. Like going into college, maybe undecided, or maybe you're just doing with some major that you thought sounded good.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and that's such a real story for so many people. So
it has to be practical.
It does.
I encourage everyone to go with their passion, but at the same, because my passion was kind of working with people, but I was like, they don't really get paid.
Yeah. And
social work isn't, just being honest, I was like, I want more than, I don't want to be struggling, when I get out.
Yeah.
So I kind of had to just set my passion aside and go with what I knew would get me a good job, good income.
Yeah, and I love that you found almost like somewhere where you could still do that thing where you help people. You know, it's still you're helping people, but at the same time you're able to support, you know, your family and things of that nature. And I feel like a lot of people, it's like, oh well, I love to juggle. Well, at the same time, you might not be able to pay your rent when you want to juggle. So you need to find that balance, you know, wherever it may be. But that's a very difficult thing for a lot of people to do. But it's worthwhile. It's a worthwhile endeavor for sure.
I think so too.
All right, this is probably the hardest question of the day. So it's broad. It's broad.
I'm ready.
All right, so maybe mindset wise or organization minded. What is the biggest choice in your life that has led you to where you are today? You know, maybe it was a shift, you know, like that baptism that you talked about. Or maybe it was, you know, okay, let me start putting systems into place in my mind so I can keep organized and, you know, whatever it was. Like, what's one thing you can think about that led you to where you are?
I mean, this might be too deep for school, but I had a major turning point in my life.
Yeah.
I was previously married. I had 2 kids, Grant and Grace. And my husband at the time suffered from mental illness. And I rode that journey for a long, long time. We struggled. Yeah. It was hard. It was just quite an endeavor. And it was constant struggle, financially, emotionally, spiritually. It was just constant struggle and really no peace. Yeah. So when I made the decision to leave that situation, because I was just like, I want my peace back. I promise you, Israel, my life like took a drastic turn. I got a new house, which I was a single mom. I got a house, brand new house built. You know, moved from there. I got a promotion at work. Then I got another promotion at work. I was able to like pay off my student loans. I rented out my old house where I never thought I'd be a landlord, but I was able to earn income that way. I mean, it was like the floodgates of blessings open, even though I was so scared to make that decision because of the unknown, right? What's going to happen after I do this? And how am I going to survive? And how am I going to, you know, raise my kids well in a, you know, single family home and all that? So lots of fear, but once I did, I promise you, it was like a hard decision, but a good decision. Yeah. Because I had like a whole new world open up that I think if I would have like stayed in that situation would have never opened up. And obviously I met my husband who I love and all that. And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's so important, finding your own peace, because a lot of the time it can feel like you're living for everybody except yourself. You know, so much it can feel like that in so many types of ways. I know so many kids where it's like, oh, well, my parents want me to do this, I gotta do it. Or, you know, my girlfriend, she's going to this college, so I think that's where I'm gonna go. Or like, you need to find that self-love and that self-respect where it's like, you know, I need to find who I am. I need to prioritize what you know, the ambitions and the talents that I have, because I'm not going to be able to help anybody else if I'm not even together, you know.
That's it right there. And I think we do as humans, we can easily lose ourselves in others.
Absolutely.
Or things. We lose ourselves in our job or our kids or our girlfriend or boyfriend or, you know, and I had like a weekend to escape with a girlfriend, and that's when I was like, man, I lost myself and I want my peace back. So I decided I'm going to get my peace back. But I mean, I got it 100 times over, and God was with me every step of the way. And so, like I always say, like, do it afraid. It's things in this world that we're afraid to do. It's okay. It's okay to be afraid. That's a natural emotion. But do it anyway. Do it afraid, you know, and God will, He will line it up.
I love that. Do it afraid. I like that. That's cool. You know, looking back, you know, with all that looking back at your choices and that type of thing, like, what is one thing that you appreciate more, you know, looking back on it, more than you did when you were, you know, living through it, you know?
Let me see. I will say, I would say like financial choices.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that in my household I was never taught about.
For sure.
And I was raised by a single mom who also was not educated about like good money decisions. So I learned a lot of stuff the hard way, and messed up the money I had, the little bit of money I had at the time. So I would say, like, looking back, I try so hard now to just be a better steward over the money God has given me, and try to teach my kids about it like early, because I'm just so like, I don't want them to be going through this world like I was,
so
like
important.
blind and ignorant about credit and bank accounts and credit cards and saving and investing. Like, I had no idea about that stuff. So that's something that I want to make sure my babies know, and that myself going forward for the rest of my life, that I'm putting myself in a good situation financially.
Absolutely, for sure. That's huge. Yeah, because that's like, it's so much harder to like build something that you can be sustainable and how be comfortable when you don't know that from a young age. Especially, that's why all like rich kids are gonna grow up and be rich adults and that type of thing. And it's so important for, especially in today's world where we have that access to information so much easier. We got to take advantage of it, just as not only as people of color, but people who have access to it. So I think it's important that we don't not only like teach ourselves, but teach others, especially.
I agree, especially in our our culture.
Yeah, communities, everything. And just to close us out today, as someone, myself, who wants to learn more about people and life from people who are older than me and have come before me, what are the questions that I need to be asking?
That's a good one. I would say, like, just be humble and always ask how you can improve. Yeah. Like, whether you're in a school setting, even relationships with family, friends, romantically even, obviously on the job, like, just be humble and ask, like, what can I do to improve this relationship? Like I said, work, family, romantic, like, what can I do better? So I can be a better employee, so I can be a better son, so I can be a better brother. Like, always just stay humble and ask, how you can kind of become a better version of yourself.
Yeah, and that could be hard. Because, like, oh, I'm up, I'm the man, I'm this, that. Yeah. But, you have to kind of, get rid of that image of yourself in your head and, realize that you're a human. Like, you're human, you were going to make mistakes, but it's important that you make an effort to not make them again.
Amen. And improve. And I learned, like, we had a lesson at churches, was years ago, about, like, how we see ourselves versus how everyone else sees ourselves. Yeah. And like you said, like, we see ourselves a certain way, and like we're in our head and we think certain things. But like, if you just stop and ask people close around you, they'll be like, no. Absolutely. Like, let me tell you how you come off. Reality let me check, tell you how you sound. Like, people close to you can give you the real deal. And like I said, that's why you have to be humble. Yeah. Because you can ask the question all day long, but if you're not ready to receive it and hear it and improve then for sure, it's in vain. But
absolutely. Well, I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate your answers and being, just going deep with us for real. Like, I just really appreciate that you could do that for me. And, that really gives me some insight, I appreciate your time. Thank you for all of that. Yeah.